Alright boys, we got the garage full of projects going on right now. You can see the E36 looks a lot different. We'll talk about that later on. But if you remember in the recent video, we picked up this junk $300 Yamaha Zuma Bugeye. This thing was absolutely clapped. At first it looked like a mega deal. It turned out that it wasn't that great of a deal because there was so much that we need to do. But we're gonna get this thing right here today. But just a quick once over of this thing. This thing has harness things cut off. It's got crazy wiring, speaker wiring, had some gnarly CDI box combination going here. We're missing a key ignition. Definitely forgot about that. But we do have a lot of things already for this bike. So today we're gonna be stripping this bike completely apart and getting this thing ready for its full build. And I know last time I asked you guys your opinion, what you guys want to see for this build. A lot of people wanted it to be like a race bike. Some people thought what I thought and was kind of make it a bike just to test motors so I can build some of these horizontal Minarellis that I have, and this is the perfect chassis for that. And some people want it as full stunt bike. So I think that we're going to kind of be able to utilize this bike for all three of those things. And what I'm thinking is if we make this bike very minimal within like panels wise and everything like that, it'll be easy to swap the engines so I can still use it to test engines. It'll be perfect for a stunt bike because you're not worried about messing up any panels, and we can add some bracing and some pegs and everything like that. And later on, if we really wanted to, we could put a fully built setup in it, and it's probably going to be even lighter because we're going to be having majority of these main pieces gone anyways. So I think we'll be able to utilize all three, but for this exact setup that we're going to be working on today and building this motor, it's going to be set up for a stunt build. With that being said, most importantly, here with our engine parts, it is time for Black Friday deal with Scooter Swap Shop. And if you know, they go crazy for Black Friday on the website. Right now, they are doing a huge deal on this Polini cylinder and crank setup here. This is a 12 mil Polini race crank with a Polini Corsa cylinder kit. I believe this is over like $400 and they're doing it for $299, which is like the perfect time. It's winter. If you want to do your engine build, this is like as much as some cylinders kits cost, and you're coming with both and their Polini quality. So it was a super steal. I had to grab one for myself, and yeah, make sure you guys check that out in the description down below. Use this link right here and grab yourself some of this, and they also have a huge sale on a variety of things. They have their new panel kits on sale. They have exhausts on sale from anything from Elites to Zumas. Go check that out in the description down below. And big shout out to the boys at Scooter Swap Shop for always helping me out, get me set up for all these builds that we really do over here. More parts on the way right now, but this is what we're working on right now, and we got the motor build. Also, if you remember when we got this bike, we figured out that this thing had a crazy setup for the fuel tank. Not only is it pretty much stripped up here, and the whole thing's just ripped up so it doesn't seal good. Someone also deleted the dual mounted petcock that goes way up here usually, and then they added like a Honda Elite style thread on one in here. So I don't know what's going on in here, but there's a bunch of like JB Weld and crud, and it's all bad and the inside's all rusted. Huge shout out to my pre-bug homie out in California, Safety Crew, because he got me hooked up with a Bugeye gas tank right here that he had laying around. So we are gonna solve all those little issues with that, along with all the wiring issues and a bunch more right now. I've never even seen a Ziploc like this before in my life. This looks like something for like body parts. Oh, that shit reeks. Oh, it's like a vacuum sealing bag. Boys, that thing is minty on the inside. Look at that thing on the inside. Mint. It's all broken off, but we got a brand new one of those right here, boys. There we go. So we'll be able to throw that on too. The top piece, it's gonna be your gaskets and stuff in here. So gaskets, instructions, and sticker. We won't be needing those where we're going, boys. Throw those right in the garbage. Boom. Corsa, baby, Corsa. Polini crank. Now that we got all our new parts, it was time to get this thing stripped apart so we can put everything back together with all the fresh goodies. So we wanted to go back down to the bare bones on this scooter and see what we were actually dealing with. So I stripped this thing all the way down to the frame. We got everything stripped off this bike now and got the motor down to the basics. We got pretty much, we even got the front brake off and all the wiring, because as you can kind of see, a lot of this wiring is frayed off. There's a lot of burnt wires, exposed copper in some spots, clipped wires. So we're going to go through this, and this harness is pretty much junk. So I'm going to strip everything we don't need off this harness, and we're going to make it a super simplified setup. literally just headlight and tail light and motor. And it's gonna be perfect for testing stuff. It's no other problems really to diagnose. And that's what we're going with, boys. We found that there is some crazy welded on kickstand here. I thought my welds weren't the best, but these right here make me look top tier, baby, because these are insane. So I'm not sure what we're gonna do with that. We do have a kickstand. We might be able to, looks like they throw a fat booger on here. We might be able to kind of chop that one off. Unbolt the motor mount, unbolt the shock, slide the frame off, throw the frame in the backyard for now. But yeah, we got all these stock parts we're throwing away. All this is garbage. I'm sorry. Someone's gonna comment saying that they wanted this pipe or they need this pipe. Well, if you want to drive to Vegas and come pick it up, that's on you. It's not necessarily how I like to do it, but we'll let it slide this time. Get all this taken apart. Oh, it has a brand new Polini belt on it. Damn. Just ordered one of those too for no reason. If it has a variator. Still stock variator. Ooh, why isn't that coming off? Uh-oh. Oof. Well, luckily we're getting a new crank. The end of the crank is stripped. Just get everything out of here right now and get this thing down to the bare minimum, boys. Everything has just random hardware on it. Like, this motor has been gone through. Throwing all this away. Whoo-hoo! Like, that was not even close to being sealed. That was just set on top. And there's like so much going on. Wow. There's a lot going on in this motor. Wow. I haven't had one like that for a while. Damn. That thing was rough, man. Holy. Man, let's see. Oh, that piston's done, dude. Oh my god, is that a trunk? Dude, there's a freaking C-clip in the bottom of the motor right here. Oh my god, there's a piston clip. Hold on. The whole piston rod's about to come out right now. It's completely toasted. C-clip right there. Right in the bottom of the block. That's insane. Isn't this piston upside down too? I've literally done this like a million times now, so that's kind of why I'm just like buzzing through it. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Well, the bearing came out with it. That makes it even easier. Alright boys, we have our cases right here. We got our crank and bearing right here on some dry ice. Gonna heat up these cases real quick with the torch, set them on the workbench, and then just drop the bearings right into them. So let's get to it. There it goes. Yeah, that one was a little rougher, I'm not gonna lie. They usually fall right in. That one, I didn't really like how it went in. Had to hit with the emergency piece. This one's falling right in. I didn't get the, it's too much moving around to film both using the torch, but you can hear me using the big torch. I'm using the big torch that I just got for the bushings. This one's, I don't even got to tilt it, look at this. Oh, that one didn't even pop. I just like pushed down. Usually when I heat it up like that, I've had it where the bearings will fall so easily into the case. You flip it over and they'll fall right back out. But maybe because it's a little colder outside, it's 45 degrees right now, so. Just like so. Straight in like that. Grab some Honda Bond. Boys, we got our crank in there. She is spinning free as can be right now. We got our cases cleaned up a little bit. I was gonna go all in and try to polish them, but I didn't go pretty much underneath the motor where you can't really see it. So just pretty much where you see it, just cleaned up a little bit. And yeah, so we're all sealed in there. We're gonna slap our cylinder on and our intake on next. Just gonna let this one cure a little bit because it's the one that bolts side to side. Come back, once it's dried, torque down all the bolts. And then from there, we'll throw the cylinder on. So we'll be back at it here shortly. It's time, boys. It's time to build the engine. And we've only done this a million times now on the channel, to the point where I don't think I should film this again. But I'm going to go ahead and throw this in a time-lapse form. But we got our studs here for the exhaust studs. Like I said, this is a 12 mil. We got a big old 12 millimeter wrist pin bearing. Got the big old 12 millimeter piston set up and 70 kit. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm definitely thinking this other piston was upside down. I can't remember now. I'm gonna look at the clips once I edit this, obviously, but I believe it was like this direction, which is intake would be down. That's towards the exhaust. If you look at pistons, 99.9% of the time, almost every single time. I don't know why. Every single time. The arrow, if it's an arrow, it's going to be pointing towards the exhaust, which means the intake would be the openings, and that's going up. Sometimes it'll also say IN on here. This one doesn't say anything, honestly. This one's too cruddy up to see, but I don't see any markings on this piston itself. Oh, big old arrow right there. It's really, really faint, but that was pointed up when we took it out. So, piston was on backwards on this too, which is hilarious to me. It was time to start slapping this motor back together. So we got everything prepped, put it in the vise on the table, and we prepped everything for our pistons. So we got our wrist pin bearing oiled up, left it in some 2-stroke oil, and got it all lubed up along with our wrist pin. Slapped our piston together, got everything Honda bought in, and slid our cylinder down. We go ahead and tighten the bolts on the cylinder, just got them snug, come back, torque them later once it dries. Doing the same thing with the intake. I Honda bond everything on these 2 strokes just to prevent any leaks. Alright, boys, intake is on. We'll snug it down, let it dry, come back, torque it all down, and this motor will be ready for a leak down test next. That is going to do it for right now on our Yamaha Zuma Bugeye junk build, stunt build, if you will. And we got the motor fully assembled here with our Polini Corsa 70cc stage 6 intake, as you see. Just got to get the little piece off the stage 6, and we got all the other goodies now to throw it in here, and you guys will see that in the next video. That is going to do it for this one. Hope you guys are ready for the next video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.